countries, which is what we are. And it doesn't matter black, red, white, yellow, human condition in that colonial system always leads to when you put autocrats in charge. The politicians are guilty. Every single federal and provincial party from 1952 till today, right now and every day after, because none of them want to relinquish the power and give true human rights, which are not their privy. They tell the world they do it, but the world's hearing today for the first time in Canadian history exactly what laws are breached and which acts in Canada do this since its inception and even now till today. Much, much worse than many of the horrific countries in the world. It's happening to all of you too, but we're going to let Treaty Indians go. Tina Maravich, Treaty 4, give her a big hand.
Hi there. Hi. Testing. Okay, I'm just going to start.
I'm just going to just
Okay. Canada was a colonial of the United Kingdom until 1867. From that time until 1952, all administration of Canada was done by the Governor-General, administered by the UK government, and appointed by the Crown reigning monarch. In 1941, during the Second Major Colonial World Powers War, the United Kingdom, by Prime Minister Sir Winston Churchill and King George VI, agreed to the Atlantic Charter via the President Teddy Roosevelt and decolonization by President Joseph Stalin. France and China were both in agreement. Officially by the UNSC P5, voted by the entire world in 1948, accepted the terms and conditions of the UN Charter of 1945. Canada, under the Liberal Party of Canada and the Conservative Party of Canada, agreed to amend their constitution and educate all Canadians and First Peoples of Canada on human rights, self-government, and self-determination. This work by King George VI in Canada started in 1952 after he had relinquished all colonialism in India. He died during Canada's transition, while the Governor-General and the Lieutenant Governors of the regions were stripped of the Crown. Example, the Crown-embedded colonialism was emptied by UK and the monarch. The Liberals and the Conservatives, upon King George VI, colonialism was emptied by UK and the monarch. The Liberals and Conservatives, upon King George VI's death, decided to ignore the Allies and continued with the Crown Governor-General and Lieutenant Governors on their own. They decided to follow the Axis powers and refused to amend the Constitution or educate the Canadian and the First Peoples. Liberals and Conservatives and all elected parties went on until today, breaching the UNSC P5's world-binding laws. Canada's first betrayal of the Allies, US, Russia, France, UK, and China, 1948, amend the Constitution and educate all citizens on the law of sovereignty and the crime of genocide. The Convention on the Prevention and Crime of Genocide, Article 1, Article 3B, Article 5. Canada's second betrayal of the Allies, USA, Russia, UK, France, and China, the Declaration of Human Rights, 1948, Articles 1 through to 31. Canada's third betrayal of the Allies, UK, Russia, USA, France, and China, the Declaration of Granting of Independence to Colonial Countries and People, 1960, Articles 1 through to 7. Canada's fourth betrayal, betrayal of the Allies, USA, Russia, UK, France, France, and China. International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights. Articles 1 through 31. According to world binding law and the Allies, UNSC P5, Canada has adopted all of these measures. However, clearly today, August the 1st, 2021, Canada has removed all of them from the First Peoples of Canada, specifically the Treaty Indian. The Indian Act 1876 to 2021 current continues to remove all of the Allies' binding laws from the Treaty Indians in Canada, Section 115, A, B, which are present, and C and D, 2014. The Constitutional Act of Canada, 1867, 1982, removes the Canadian Indian and all Canadians, second and third, from any mention, as well as grants the power over civil rights to provincial government, politicians, appointments, Section 92, and human rights to the federal government, politicians, and appointments, Section 91. A genocide has and is occurring today. Please, UNSP 5, act now, enforce ICC, and live up to your promises to the world. End the reign of terror in Canada. Step in and save Canada's Indian from Axis colonial power. First-class Canadian, regional, and federal politicians. Joe Biden, Vladimir Putin, Jinping, Boris Johnson, and Emmanuel Macron, you have an international obligation to impose upon Canada, as your forbearance did from 1945 until today, and colonial crown. That is a clear breach of your world-binding laws listed above. Return the souls of the dead children to peace and restore the First Peoples of Canada. Gachimi Wich.